Guten Morgen, meine Damen und Herren, and good morning to YouTube. And this is a video all about me. On the Facebook page, which if you're not a member of, you're missing out, the lovely and wonderful Teresa Value wanted to know more about me. So she started a thread, and now we have a bunch of questions. So, from Teresa herself, if I could be any superhero, what would it be? But what power would you give him that he originally doesn't have? Superhero? Gonna be... I want to say Doctor Strange. He's got a great story. You'll find out Benedict Cumberbatch is going to play him soon, which is going to make everyone go crazy, and then hopefully I can buy stuff with his logo on it, because I think it's a great character. Well, I mean, I guess, yeah. So I would be Doctor Strange, but see, he used to be a surgeon, but then broke his hands, and he was a real arrogant surgeon, and then went to black magic and, like, mysticism to, like, get his hands back. And he can never do surgery again, but he protects the world. He keeps heaven and hell and all the worlds from colliding together. And he basically is like a, supernatural kind of demon hunter thing, which is really cool. But I would be him with the power of my hands to do technical work still. That would be it. Bam. Boom. No character flaw. Okay, that's a good one, Teresa. Okay, so Christina sent a message asking that I've lived in a bunch of places. Where was my favorite and what provided with the best memory? So a quick rundown of where I've lived. I was born in Missouri, moved to Germany, then Alaska, Virginia, then Michigan for the first time, then Hawaii, then back to Michigan, then 9 months in Croatia, and then a couple more months in Germany, and then scattered throughout that entire time. I went to Germany every summer by myself to visit my German grandmother who passed away earlier last year. Not my real German grandmother. Long story. That's a whole other story. Great story. But yeah, so that is where I have resided. And my favorite would have to be Croatia. I have to say that was my number one memory. Not because the people everywhere else just weren't great. I was in college. I just got to go and do a study abroad and live abroad, and I got to meet some great people. My mom, when I was growing up when I was born, we moved to Germany, and that's when all this horrible stuff was happening in Croatia, formerly known as Yugoslavia, and all that crazy stuff. And my mother realized we were only 2 hours away. So what did she do? 6 kids in the military officer's wife, learns to drive a tractor trailer by herself, goes around Germany collecting food, and drives it into a war zone. She has bullet holes. One night she punctured her, she was running after curfew and got caught and jumped a church fence to get into the church and punctured her hand, and the next day it was healed. Like, tons of miraculous stories. That growing up, you hear your mom does all these crazy, wonderful things for people, and you kind of get a little jaded. And then I went to Croatia by myself, so no influence from anyone, and I got to meet people who were like, thank you, your mother used to hide in our basements when we were getting bombed, and, your mom helped get a refrigerator, a big refrigerator that was able to store food and feed people, and families were lost that she brought together, and that made me really appreciate my mother. Plus, being young and in a foreign country, there's a lot of, like, romance in the air as far as, like, it's just a romantic setting, and there's all these warm memories where you're meeting friends and you're drinking with friends, and it's where I fell in love with Kayla, so, yeah, definitely Croatia. Next one is by Samantha. Ooh, ... Favorite food? Mexican food. Hands down, I love Mexican food. Tacos, number one meal. Second to Mexican would be raclette, but I feel like that's cheating because that's a style of eating. But raclette it's like this little grill. I think we have a video somewhere. Kayla's over there. I think we have a video somewhere where we show what it is. There's a grill on top. You can grill all the food on top, and then it also has like a mini oven underneath, personalized, and it's delicious and fatty if you want it to be, or super healthy if you want it to be. That's my second favorite. Favorite sports teams? Yeah, I know. That's what my mind went to Quidditch too. I don't watch a lot of sports, unfortunately, but if I had to, hockey, Detroit Red Wings, because, I mean, who else? Football would be the Vikings. It's what my dad taught me and grew me up on, so that's what I follow. Baseball, Tigers or Minnesota Twins. And I like all soccer. I like soccer. But I just like watching them play. I'm never like, oh, that one guy's so superior. So yeah, I like watching that. Chocolate or vanilla? Vanilla? French bean? Or dark chocolate? God, I don't know. Both of them sound pretentious when you put them that way. I'm gonna go with vanilla because I like vanilla. Yep. Who do I idolize? Who do I idolize? Not Kayla's like me. I got some. Gotta have coffee. It's a little early. And Tara's about to play in his bag. Who do I idolize? I idolize, there's a few entrepreneurs I really respect. The reason is that they were able to take nothing and make something of it. Richard Branson, one huge. I love that guy. I think his gusto and his fearlessness is awesome. Bill Gates in his later year. I mean, Bill Gates his entire life. I think he's done an amazing job of being like a good person and not getting corrupted. Warren Buffett, but not for his like being super rich. I just love again that he lives in a home I think that's worth $130,000, and he's been in that home since he was in college with his wife, and the money hasn't changed him. It's not about the money; it's about making the world a better place. Those type of things are what inspire me. So those are the people I would idolize. Yeah, I feel like that's a good list. All right, Brenda. Favorite incarnation of the Doctor. So, we're rewatching Doctor Who right now. And David Tennant's my Doctor. He will always be my Doctor. But I have to say number 9 is definitely close. I did not realize how much I like number 9 until rewatching everything again this time. And then favorite companion is... I love Clara. I know people hate that. I don't know why. But she's awesome. And favorite enemy of the Doctor? Silence freaked me out the most. Definitely, it's either the Silence or the one time he faced, like, the devil in that one episode, because that was kind of really cool. Because I think it's kind of just brought in a whole bunch of what I like about the Marvel Universe, is it makes everyone's storylines all intertwine, and it's like it doesn't matter how it works, it just does. So that's kind of why I like that. Teresa again asked, do I collect anything? I do. I collect 2 things that I can name for sure, and then I just have a lot of other little hobbies that kind of, I guess I collect hobbies. But my first thing is anywhere I traveled for the last 4 years, I try to find a street artist and I buy art from wherever I'm at, or I try to buy art where I can, or something that is I can hang on my wall from a place that is artistic. I think supporting local artists is cool, and I do it, and that's what I collect. So we have the art wall that's over there, and then the other thing is everywhere we go, we take a little vial of sand if it's on a beach, or a little bit of water. And at first, we weren't sure if it was going to be super cool or not. But then we put them all together, and you do not realize that we don't have any 2 that look at all the same. Like, none. They are all different, and that makes it really cool. Plus, like, I just went hunting, so I got it was my first time hunting. I went with my brother. It was a really wonderful experience for me. I got a little vial of water from where we went hunting for the first time with my brother, so I have that in it. Now it's an encapsulated memory also, so that was really cool. So that's what I collect. Did I know anything about planners before Kayla mentioned them to me? Yes, actually, surprisingly enough. My history with planners start back in my junior year of high school. I was stressed out. I'm an overachiever, or I was definitely at that point in my life. In my senior year, I became student council president. I was drum major of the marching band. I was on mock trial, which is a fake like judge system, which you have to prep for. I was an officer for the theater troupe, plus I did every theater show. Not to mention I had a few AP classes and had a lot of high GPA. And, applying to college is also pretty stressful. So I had all of that shabazz going on. And I was stressed out and I couldn't keep up. And my dad handed me his old Franklin Covey, which is this leather-bound black and brown book, which those colors aren't supposed to go together, but they do. Anyways, hands them to me and kind of showed me, he's like, just write down everything you've got on every day, it'll work. And I used that religiously for 2 years of my life. Got to college and I said, I will never go back. I'm never going to be that busy again. It wasn't worth it. I just stressed myself out, and within a month I stressed myself out again, because that's just what I do. But then I did Google Calendar, and that was my calendar app, because it sent me text, which my planner wouldn't. I think it wanted to, but it just didn't have the data plan. So, but yeah, that's my background in planning. And then Kayla got into Erin Condren, and so I understand, and that's why I think I can design some pretty good stickers, as I totally get the need and necessity. Roisin, and I hope you're saying your name right, asked me, your 3 favorite sayings, and when do you use them? 1, be bold. I think that's like a tattoo that I just don't have yet. But I don't have tattoos, so I wouldn't. But be bold for sure, because that to me is a little bit of my history. Is when I was in Hawaii, I went to an all-boys school, and one of their saying is "estivir," which translates to "be a man." Now, it's an all-boys school, so it makes sense. But it means be a man in Latin. And be bold is like my own personal take on that, which is, but it's not just like be a man. It's a little more unisexed or quad-sexed or whatever sex there are now. But what it does is it allows you, it reminds you that you're going to die one day. And if you don't do it now, it's only going to get harder. And then my other favorite saying is funny because it ties into this one, is the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is today. And the reason why is you only have so much time here, and watching one more TV or going to one more football game and putting something off till tomorrow, eventually you will run out of tomorrows. But that will only happen to you one time in your life. But when it does, it's over. And so it's easy to forget that. And I think there's certain things that have shaped me. My dad had a heart attack in middle school, right when I was doing a lot of like self-discovery, and I think that really just imprinted itself on me. As I remember my dad going like, I lived this perfect life. I never drank, smoked, I never did any of this fun stuff that everyone said, got to do. I watched everyone thinking I'll live forever, and I'm not. So he taught me that in moderation is very important, and to never put things off, and that's always stuck with me. So that's my second one. My third one, the last one, is something more of an inside joke. Me and Kayla have a lot of inside jokes. This one is keep on keeping on. I actually use it as all my sign-offs, and that is from a business competition me and Kayla entered with a couple of our friends, which we ended up winning all iPads because no one else entered, and it was us and this other school, and we blew them out of the water because Kayla knew how to. It was a video competition, and Kayla did the editing, so we all got free iPads. Yay! And at the end, we didn't know what to say, and it was a Ron Burgundy spoof, so I was like, keep on keeping on, and that actually ended up being like my catchphrase. So that's my last one. Kate asked, if I was a soup, what kind of soup would I be? Kayla's like, man, don't tell us. I would be this soup from Croatia, and I don't know what it's called. It's just a broth with a cooked carrot and handmade dumpling. But in order to make it, it requires a ton of work that you end up throwing away. They take all these vegetables and tomatoes and celery root, which you can barely even find in the U.S., and they put all these things together and they make this delicious broth, and it's like a chickeny broth. And then once it's made, they throw it all out, and that's upsetting, or they feed it to their animals or chickens, and all you end up with is this broth and this carrot in these dumplings, and it's fantastic, and you put pepper on it, and I could eat that forever. And I think that represents me, because although it takes an immense amount of work to make things look easy, and I don't think I make things look easy, but I think I do a minimalistic approach to life, as we're surrounded by all this accoutrement. But I take things very simple, I like things very plain, and I respect how much work that takes. That's the type of soup I am. If anyone knows what that soup is called, please leave a comment. So Arlie asked a few questions. The first one is, what is my favorite animal? Okay, so I have favorite animals for every environment. I don't have one. On land, it's a fox. By technicality, bird, even though they don't really fly. Puffins. I love puffins. They remind me of a lot in my growing up, I just love puffins. I think they're adorable. They're like penguins, but flashier. In the ocean, octopus, because they freak me out, but they're really smart, and I respect that. And yeah, that's it, right? There's those three. Those are my three favorite animals. And microbial is the water pig, or water bear. That's my favorite microbial animal because it also freaks me out because it can survive in space and there's no need for that to happen on Earth. So maybe it is from space and there's that whole conversation. So yeah, those are my favorite. If I was an animal, which one would I be? I would be none of the animals that are my favorite because I think they all are great in their own way, but I wouldn't want to be cute. A bird? Albatross? That is what I would be, albatross. Fly anywhere in the world. Get the whole ocean. Pretty sweet. I think I would do that. Any places in the world that I'd like to visit that I haven't yet? Absolutely. Tons of Northern Europe, Western Europe, or Eastern Europe countries. I'd love to visit Russia, China, basically anywhere I haven't been. But if I had to go first on the map, I would do like the Philippines or Indonesia. I think the Asian culture there is phenomenal, and I would really love to go. I'm a little nervous about the food because I love food, but I feel like fish-based things can get scary for me. But yeah, I would definitely do there. I think there's just a complete new place. I don't know, like Taiwan, that area. I know I'm probably listing a big spot, but they're island nations. Come on. Freya asked, have I always been into planning and stickers? And she wishes her boyfriend would understand her more. As earlier, yes, I've kind of been into planning, not like this realm of planning that we experience here. To get your boyfriend to understand you more, I can't help you. I don't actually have an answer for that one. Take an interest into what he likes, and maybe he'll reciprocate. So play some video games, and then show him your planner and tell him how important it is to you. I don't know. But yeah. So I feel like that's the answer for that one. If I had to live in any time period and location in the world, where would it be? This is from Danielle. So Victorian England, Roman Empire, Renaissance Germany. Whoa, giving me time and place? I would live under the rule of Alexander the Great because I think I would love to learn or just see how does a guy at like 23 own the entire world. Granted, he inherited most of that army and military power from his father. Still remarkable. The fighting in that time was completely different from what we know today. They fought on a individual basis. So it really was like champions versus champions and less like army versus army. So I feel like the honor and the battle and the glory, that would be the time to really just experience that. Plus it was a Renaissance time. Library of Alexandria hasn't burned down yet. So if I could do anything, put more water buckets in the corner so we could stop that. Yeah, that's definitely where I'd like to go. I think it'd be fun to watch. Beth asks how I like my steak cooked. Medium rare. If not, rare. But that's only because I'm in the north and they don't know how to do rare right most of the time. But medium rare. Freya asks what's my favorite country. I don't have one favorite. I have a favorite place. That was Croatia. I talked earlier. But my favorite country, don't have one. I think people are really, really cool and everyone has their merits. That's like saying what's, I don't know what that's like saying. That's something you can't pick between. If I could have any other name, what would it be? I would like my name to be, my original name was going to be Zachary, because all of my dad's children's are named after John Denver lyrics. And my mother didn't know this, and when I was born, my dad threw the name Zachary in, and my mom said no. And went with Alexander. So the second part of the question is also by Kelly. I don't know if I said her name. If I could have any dream job, what would it be? If it wasn't the sticker business, my dream job is to help people start their business. That is literally the rest of my life. It's what I'm still trying to work towards, is to make myself a giant tool bag. That sounds so bad. That other people could come and I have all these tools at my disposal. And I guess workshop would be a better sounding way to say that. But be a workshop for people to come in and help them get started. So if you're passionate about something, you have a dream, you probably want to make the world a better place. And if you're just, if you really have a vision, I would want to help that come to fruition. Because that, to me, people following their dreams, that's why we're here, right? You only get so much time. That's what I would love to do. Kara asked, elephants or koalas? Elephants, because koalas are designed to be meat eaters, but eat eucalyptus, which your stomach can't handle, and that's why they have to eat so much, but it also makes them completely dazed, and they pee on themselves and carry syphilis. So, elephants. Yep.
Not the fact that I like elephants, it's just a koala.
And Kayla likes elephants, too. Katie asks, where would you live if you couldn't live in America, and why? Europe. Because of the European Union, a lot of culture, and I can travel between countries easily. What is your favorite thing about making stickers? I honestly love seeing new stickers I designed, and my second favorite thing is seeing everyone on the group enjoy them. Like, seeing them in people's planners freaks me out in a very awesome way. Realizing that, like, I made this in my home. And at one point it was a tree, and then it stopped here after it became paper, and I sent that out in the world with some things I put on it, and now you guys have it, and it's making your place better, and it's making your life happier. That makes me feel really, really cool. Obviously, you love what you do, but is there something that turns you off, I think, to planning personally? Do you just like the designing side of it? So, yes, I love the designing side of it. Why don't I plan? Because I'm not busy enough for me, and my brain doesn't work that way when I'm running my own ship. So if I was doing a bunch of things with a bunch of different groups, I would have my planner back in my life in a heartbeat. But because most of my life is taken up by this business and it's all project-based and goal-based, it's a different mentality for me to think. I like to think like top-down. And so actually, funny enough, there's a planner I'm going to be reviewing called Top-Down, and it's kind of geared towards that. So I'll let you know. I'm still trying to figure out if I like it or not. But yeah, I'm a very goal-based person, so that's why I have my little Foxy Dory, which I can write my goals in and work that way. It's just not how I work. Robin asks, can I imitate any cartoon characters? And if so, can you do an impression? Or any character for that matter? Yes, I do voices on command, hard. Let's see, what can I do? I can do Tickle Me Elmo. Tickle Me Elmo! I can do Goofy. Gosh, Mickey.
Like when you do this,
I
you do Elmo.
I can do Kermit the Frog here.
I forgot about that one. Yeah, that's a really good one.
Gosh, Mickey. Yeah, everyone says gosh. And I'm trying to think. I think this is my impression of a mute. And the last question is from Chrissy. What do you like most about yourself? Oh, well, we've just started the video then. No, I'm just kidding. What I like most about myself is I forget. I will forget a lot of things, and I know that's a weird one, but I forget when someone's hurt me or like something bad has happened in my life. I can let it go. And I won't forget completely. Like, I remember things happen, but I don't let that affect me moving forward. I can easily shed or block off, like, things that would cause me anxiety and to slow down. I can forget that I failed, so I can try again. I forget that people have done bad things, and give them a new chance, because I think we're all growing, and that's something that, everyone makes mistakes. So I think my ability to like forgive and forget is allows me to live a much more rich life than if I couldn't do that. So that's probably one of my favorite things. So, yep, I think that's enough of me. Back to your regular programming on Kayla's Plan With Me and Beauty channel. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. If you have any more questions, I can do a part 2. Leave them in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button. Do it now. Stop. Now do it again. No, that's unsubscribing. Do it until it turns a color that's not the natural color. Subscribe, dang you. Subscribe. And like this video if you like this. And if not, don't like it and you get to see less of me. So do one of these things. Yeah, thanks.